basically a Buddhist tales by, it's written in a language called Pali. It's most likely they use it on Buddhist people, they use it for the literature, and then it already contains like whatever they had to do in the future when they grew up, and then it teaches what when a person, if they wanted to be a Buddha, these tales contains all kind of stories that gives moral to them to become a Buddha. So it was originally written in Pali, the language that used in Indian subcontinents in India. Still some people use in Nepal and all those places. And most of the stories that takes place in a place called Varanasi. They say it's a holy city in India. Also, one of the common thing is that Jataka. They say Jataka. That's the way I pronounce it because I'm from India. And over here, people say Jataka. That's not the way it is.
Jakarta.
Jakarta? No, it's spelled okay, maybe Jakarta. Jataka, yeah. Jataka. Okay, it has like 547 stories. Most of them share like Aesop, and then one of the Indian tales is like Panchatatra. All these contains almost similar stories. And some of the Greek people say that Indian people copied from Aesop, and some Indian people say Aesop copied everything from Panchatatra. So there are still debates about like which one is copied from where. And there are some people say it's possible that it can be copied because it's not translated by the original who wrote it. Like nobody know who wrote it. So it can be possible that it depends on people, whatever they're doing, and then they make up a story. Or this one goes in India, or this one goes in wherever they are. In this book, they talk about 3 stories. It's on page 1301. If you guys want to look at it. They talk about 3 stories. One of them is the Golden Goose. That story is almost similar, like the Aesop fable. The farmer had the golden hen that gives golden egg, goose that gives golden egg. Basically, they converted into Brahmin style, saying that there was a guy named Brahmadatta was one of the Buddhist main like priests, whatever thing, and also to become a Buddha they had to do. It's not an easy thing. Like if you look up a video, there are videos about Dalai Lama talking. That's like 2-3 hours about it. So if you guys want to watch it, you can watch it at home. And there's no videos about Jataka. There are videos, but it's in the language it's in the other language. There's no translation or nothing. Basically, to become a Buddha, they had to give up everything they have, like family, friends. They do like there's eight. You guys know about 8 noble path, 8-fold noble path. Yeah, so it's like 3 divisions about it. Like one is like freedom, one is some conduct and then concentration or something. If you mess it up, one of them you cannot be a Buddha. But that's like Buddhism is like one of the largest growing religion. It's like currently there are about 2 billion people in the world. That's a lot of them. So, and Golden Goose is basically they converted into this Brahmin style. This Buddha had a family, he died and then he reborn as a goose, and then this family doesn't have no money to live with it. So what this guy, the reborn guy, thought about it, like he gave them a feather every day, which is golden, so they don't have to go to charity or whatever, and then depend on someone else's. So and then being greedy, his wife and his mother, his daughter was like, oh maybe they never come back later on. So what we do is we just gonna take him one day and then take out all the feathers. But they didn't know that the goose has to think about it. Since it's a Buddha guy, you need to know that whatever they're saying is like no one can just go there and then take it. They had to be like they had to give it from their heart or whatever to be a goal. So that moral of that gives is like the excess of beauty brings nothing. So basically, that woman wanted all the gold at one time, but she didn't get nothing at the end. And the next story is talking about the hare self-sacrifice. Hare is like a rabbit. Yes. So There was like three friends in the jungle. This one is also based on a Brahmin story. There was three friends in the jungle. They tried to, they wanted to, like, basically the story was giving me an idea of like, what would you do if somebody come and ask you, like, what do you have? Like, for example, a beggar asks you something, and then what can you give to them for to eat it? So, according to Buddha, people, they're not allowed to eat, they're not allowed to kill or anything, kill any living things. So the three friends here was like pretty smart about it. So three other friends was like, if somebody come up with it, I give them a fish. Basically, this, if you read through the story, sorry that I didn't send out a link or anything, like reading or anything. One of them says like, if I can get a chance, I give everybody fish. And then one of them says, if I can, I give something else. It's also, all of them is related to like killing and stuff, but the hare was pretty smart about it. He said like, if I have anything to give to other people, I self-sacrifice by myself, and then I give them my flesh. Like, I don't kill anybody else, but I give my flesh to the beggar who asked me anything about it. So the guy that came to ask him was like kind of greedy about it too. That the hare was not one of the friend actually. Hare was one of the big Brahmin guy. Their name is Saka. Saka is like one of the big people in Buddhism. Like they say like for us Christianity, this is the God, and then Hinduism, like they have their own God. So Saka is one of the big guys in Buddhism. But the guy that came told him that, what would you do if beggar asked him? There was some kind of normal guy, but the hare was like even bigger than them. So at the end, that guy would feel bad about it. He's like, "Yo, man, I tested kind of God, I shouldn't have done it." And then today you can see, if you go outside, you guys seen on the moon, there's like a thing of rabbit.
Is a rabbit on the moon?
Rabbit on the moon. Like, if you at night, like they say, yeah,
like the face.
Yeah, like a face. Yeah, that's well, there are some pictures about it. Like, if the moon, when the moon comes up at night, people say there's like a face of it. That face depends on, sorry, it didn't work good.
In the moon.
It'll probably just be a rabbit.
Wait, go back down. Oh, that's a wolf.
Yes, a wolf.
I'm in these.
Yeah, they say if you look at from one view, you're going to see a face. That face is basically a rabbit. And then according to Buddha people, they say it's the smart hare. They say, okay, since you're a big guy, you will be in the moon. So at night, everybody see about it and think about them. And then the last story is about the monkey's self-sacrifice. That one is also kind of a guy that gives up his life for all these people. And there was a mango tree, and then the mango tree had like 8,000 monkeys. And this monkey king was, they say about it, the story talks about a monkey king. Basically, the monkey king is Hanuman. Yes, how about Hanuman? Buddy, everybody. Yeah, Hanuman is like one of the Indian, it's an Indian god. And then some of the science, not the science actually, some of the Indian people says that world came up from Hanuman. Like, the way he travels, he's holding the air door or whatever. His face is like monkey, and he has the So that's Hanuman there. And then people say that he's actually, some of the people says that he's actually the guy that created Earth. Like he's holding everybody in his hand and stuff. But there is no evidence of it, like whatever he has done. It's just stories. So the story that all these monkeys live in one tree. It was a mango tree, and then the mango fruit, none of the people know about how mango tastes or whatever. So since there was a lot of monkeys, there was a lot of mangoes, and there was one guy taking bath on the river, and then he got one of the mango, and then he gave to his king on his whatever the place he was from. So the king was like, "Oh man, this tastes good. Let's go back there and then get all the tree and mangoes." So when the king came to the place to cut down the tree, and they saw there's a lot of monkeys, they said, okay, shoot them all down. We take the tree home, and they came, and then they couldn't do anything because there was a lot of monkeys. So what everybody, but even though the monkeys is scared about it, like people, monkeys, like if somebody come up to kill someone, they're like, oh man, he's gonna kill him. But at the same time, killer might have some kind of fear too, they're gonna do something bad.
Yeah.
So that's what they were like that. And then the king monkey, basically Hanuman was like, okay, I'll do something about it. And then he jumped on each other trees, and then he jumped on a bamboo. Yes, no bamboo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I
and
can have
then
this.
jumped on bamboo, and then he basically tied up with two trees, and then he made a bridge, so all the monkeys can go to the next tree, so no one kill him. And basically, when he was doing it, he tied on his waist, so that when he jumped on each of the trees, he just joined together. So at the end of it, he forgot to untie it. It was on his waist too, and then he gave a signal saying like, "Oh, everybody just cross the bridge, good to go." But nobody knew that he was still underneath the bridge, and then all these 8,000 monkeys just walked through him.
I'm sorry. Hanuman!
Yeah, so there's questions. And then it's best, they're giving you an idea of being like, not your life is not important, you sacrificing for someone else. At the end of it, like the king was watching all this thing. King was like, oh man, he's a good guy, who would do that?
Not me.
And then, and at the end of it, and then king was like, oh, you are a nice guy, what would you do? And then he was saying all this thing about like, why did you do that? Why did you do this? And then he was the king monkey was giving Hanuman was giving the moral of saying that you shouldn't be serving yourself. You shouldn't just worry about yourself. You should worry about your people also. Serve a good kingdom for a good life. That's the way Buddhist people are. And then it's for that the king was so surprised about it. So king said the monkeys already died. So king done was like he took his skull out and then put a gold on it and then kept it. And that's it. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah. When you were talking about the Buddhists,
Yeah.
and you said that there are 8 paths to it,
Yeah.
do you know the 8 paths?
There's actually 3 divisions of it. One is called concentration. Other one is called conduct or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then all those 3 divisions has like all 3 divisions has like three separate things.
Okay.
So one of them is like a right to look, right to concentrate, right to do whatever you're supposed to do, right to kill, or like right to you're not supposed to. Basically, the thing is like you're not killing, you're not allowed to kill someone, you're not allowed to do any kind of sins. But most of the time, whatever they're doing, it is just worth it. Like it's not worth it. Like I don't know, I don't believe in it. So there's people like if you watch on all those videos, people are like so thrilled about it. They're like, oh, Buddha is so cool.
Right, because you hear a lot of people say that they practice Buddhism, so I guess what you're saying is that there are different levels, so maybe those people...
Though to become a big guy of a Buddha, you need to pass all the... There's like 4 noble truths, 8-fold path, 8-fold path.
Okay,
And then-
say 4 noble truths,
And
and
then
8